9-point harness. Grandpa, get your ID. Shortly, because ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime.
You're listening to the Dirt Racing Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Racing Podcast. Let's get started. Results starting with CJ Speedway, starting with the modifieds. Your winner was Jerry Brown in 88. Second, the 111 and Ethan Broxman. Third, the 70 Jerry King. Fourth, the 48 Dakota Simmons. Fifth was the 71C of Troy Cordes. Sixth, the 22 of Brandon Banks. Barry Dugan in the 21B was 7th. 8th was 11B of Troy Philpott. Jonathan Houston in 42 was 9th. 10th was Brian Bushlong in 85. Colton Osborne in 72 was 11th. 12th was Scott Brown, 26. Kirk Kyle in 77 was 13th. 14th was Danny Brow in the 20. And 15th was Shane Richardson in the IB 25. In the stock cars, your winner was the 29 Nathan Ballard. Second, the 14 C Lee Roden. Third, the 79S Jason C. Fourth was Dustin Griffiths in the 10G. Fifth, the 62 of Norman Bean. Sixth, the 75 ounce of Austin Kemper. Seventh was Jim Redmond in the 14R. Eighth was Kurt Kinsley in the 21M. Kyle Prazak in the 20T was 9th. 10th, 56 Kenny O'Donnell. Austin O'Donnell in the 56A was 11th. 12th was Dan Bruckert in the 30. And 13th, it did not start, the 27 of Matt Pickney. In the sport mod, your winner was Shane Paris in the 13C. Second was the 117 of Dylan Van Wyk. Third, the 17 of Trey Rock. Fourth, the 21 of Todd Hansen. Fifth went to the 7V of Carter Vandenberg. Sixth, the 53 of Logan Herbie Anderson. Seventh was the 7 of Cody Lehman. Eighth was Justin Becker in the 35 Junior. Ninth, the 10L of Levi Lehman. 10th was Colton Lizzie in 29. Brandon Schulteis was 11th in 29B. Nick Uppel in the 5A was 12th. 13th was Shane Wright in the 9. 14th was the 15th question mark of Michael Bear. 15th was the 42 of Tyler Hecker. 16th was the 44G of Levi Gaunt. Travis Tidrow in the 13 was 17th. 18th was the 16 of Joel Payne. And credited with 19th and did not start Matthew Lundry in 96. In the hobby stocks, Luke Phillips was your winner in 33. Second, the 2G of Bradley Graham. Third was Tyson Overton in the 42T. Fourth was Billy Stanford in the 52. Randy Lamar in the 4R was fifth. Sixth, Tucker Richardson in 28. Jason Shutterly in 88 was seventh. Eighth with 6 XP of Preston McDonald. Austin Stratler in 12 was 9th. 10th was Kel Hemsley in 88H. 11th, Jeremy Dooling in 91. 12th, James Pilkington in 22. Cody Staley in the 55 was 13th, and 14th, Daniel Waters in the 5. Sport Compacts. Your winner was the 23H of Alex Hayes. Second, the 2M of Matt Moore. Third, the 9 of Cody Sam. Shane Barnes was fourth in 26X. 5th, Caleb Geesey in the 20C. 6th, Christian Grady in the 89. 7th, Darren Smith in 17. Garrett Porter was 8th in the 746. 9th was William Michael in the 69JX. 10th was Kyle Resdom in the 18A. 11th was Ryerson Thorpe in the 20T. Trip Flower was 12th in the 12T. Did not start in 13th was Tyler Rock in the 87T. And 14th and did not start was Cody Van Duzen in 53. Over at the 34 race line, we'll start with the 305 sprints. Picking up the win was 11T and Diggin T. Second to 7 being Nick Guernsey. The 27 to Cody Worley was third. Fourth, the 271 of Tanner Gebhardt. Fifth, the 71 of Nathan Murders. Sixth was the 31 of McLean Richards. Seventh was the 41 of Noah Samuel. Cale Hummerson in 52H was 8th. 9th was Logan Alexander in the 71C. 10th, Harold Poirman in the 50P. The rest did not finishes or did not start. 11th, the 51J of Blaine Jameson. 12th, Austin Furch in the 51. 13th was the 56 of Matt Krieger. And 14th and did not start was the 1J of Ryan Jameson. Modified, your winner was Jared Freeberger in the 6th. Second, the 88 of Jerry Brown. Third was the 99X of Charlie Moore. Fourth was the 70 of Dustin Woolward. Jaden Fuller in the 26J was 5th. 6th was Darren Levine Dennis Levine in the 71. 7th was Dustin Smith in 3. Garrett Wilson was 8th in the 3W. 9th was Adam Shulman in the 3S. And 10th in the US was Jonathan Olshai. The rest did not start or did not finishes or did not start. 11th, the 126J of Jared Fuller. 12th, the 5R Bill Roberts. 13th, the 4B of Mitch Bowles. 14th, the 99 of Brandon Jewell. And did not start in 15th was the 15 RS of Reed Samsons. In the sport mod, Adam Brick in the 112 was your winner. Second was the 12S of Sean Wyatt. Third, Quentin Sheldon in 54. Fourth, the 55 of John Oliver. Tom Bowling was 5th in the 14B. 6th, Trenton Buckaloo. Bob Kalman was 7th in the 14. Matt Thomas was 8th in the 3 and did not finish in 9th, the 11J of Trade Jacobs. Stock cars. Your winner was Kurt Kensley in the 21M. Second, the 14 R Jim Redmond. Third was 87 of Blake Les Blakely. Fourth was Chad Krogmeyer in the 12. Fifth, the 70 of Clayton Hockaday. Jack Hockaday in the 7X was 6th. And the rest did not finishes in 7th. John Oliver. And in the 05 and 8th, the 83 of Doug Olmsted. In the sport compacts, your winner was the 94X of Justin Stevenson. Second, the 8 of Noah Kaiser. Third, TJ Rivals in the 2X. The 6R of Spencer Rodines in the 6R was 4th. 5th, Shane Mansell, the 22R. Wesley Talley in the 17 was 6th. Wayne Cumbie was the 44 was 7th. 8th. The 13M Miranda Weiss. And the rest did not finishers or did not start. 9th. The 10C of Chad Wick Poland and Bobby Douglas did not start 10th. The 91. In the late models, Jeff Gingrich in the 15R was your winner. Second, Andy Norinsky in the 7. Third was the 01 of Chad Horn. Fourth, the 7B of Matt Strassheim. Fifth was the 93 of Jay Johnson. Ed Hollenbeck in the 39 was 6th. 7th, Jeremy Punt in the 52J. 8th, the 101 of Nick Prohl. Dakota Job in the 4 was 9th. And 10th, Ray Raker in the 07. Results from the Knoxville race light starting with 4:10 time trials. Quick time was the 5X of the Mammy and Kerry Matson at a 16:298. Second to Tulin Jeffrey at 16:320. Third to 88 Austin McCarl at 16:370. Fourth Aaron Reitzel on the 8 at 16:397. Fifth the 6 of Carson McCarl at 16:413. Sixth the 20 AJ Moeller at a 16:438. Seventh the 1 of Justin Henderson at a 16:455. Eighth the 2KS of Chase Randall at 16:494. Ninth the 25 of Scott Bugusky at 16:504. 10th was 22 Riley Goodell at 16:554. 11th, the 3 of Ayrton Jennington at 16:651. 12th, the 09 of Matt Jewell at 16:708. 13th, 22K Caleb Johnson at 16:753. 14th was Brooke Tatnell the 16 at a 16:766. 15th, the 24 RW of Garrett Williamson at a 16:777. 16th, the 3J of Dusty Zomer at a 16:221. 17th, the 2M of Davey Haskin at a 16:877. 18th, the 24T Christopher Throne at a 16:891. 19th, 44 Chris Martin at a 16:963. 20th was the 49 Josh Snyderman at 16:966. 21st, the 3P of Sawyer Phillips at 17:016. 22nd, the 7W Dustin Salvage at a 17:215. 23rd, the 7 Taz of Tasker Phillips at a 17:281. 24th, Nate Mills, 76 at an 18:412. 25th was 15 of Bobby Meitzer at 18:448. 26th and 56 of Joe Simbro at 18:610. 27th was the 5 Gage Polsterbeck. Got upside down on his time trial for no time. At 28th, the 6X of Frank Rogers with no time. He race 1 went to Dusty Zomer. Second, Caleb Johnson. Third, Justin Henderson. Fourth, Aaron Reitzel. Fifth, Kerry Matson. Sixth, Riley Goodnow. Seventh, Chris Morton. Eighth, Dustin Salmon. Ninth, Bobby Meitzer. And 10th, Frank Rogers. Heat race number 2 went to Davey Haskins. Second, Brooke Tatnall. Third, Chase Randall. Fourth, Lynn Jeffrey. Fifth, Tasker Phillips. Sixth, Carson McCarl. Seventh, Ayrton Jetton. Eighth, Josh Steinerman. And ninth, Joe Simborough. Heat race number 3 went to Garrett Williamson. Second, Austin McCarl. Third, Christopher Throm. Fourth, Scott Boguski. Fifth, Matt Jewell. Sixth, A.J. Muller. Seventh, Sawyer Phillips. Eighth, Gage Polsterback. And ninth, Nathan Mills. For the feature, your winner was Aaron Reitzel. Second, Kerry Matson. Third, Lynn Jeffrey. Fourth, Chase Randall. Fifth, Garrett Williamson. Sixth, Tasker Phillips. Seventh, Davey Haskin. Eighth, Austin McCarl. Ninth, Justin Henderson. 10th, Caleb Johnson. 11th, Carson McCarl. 12th, Ayrton Janneton. 13th, Scott McGinski. 14th, Brooke Tatnall. 15th, Riley Goodnow. 16th, Sawyer Phillips. 17th, Dusty Zomer. 18th, Chris Martin. 19th, Christopher Throm. 20th, Matt Jewell. 21st, Josh Steinerman. 22nd, Bobby Meitzer. 23rd, Joe Simborough. 24th, Frank Rogers. 25th, Gage Polsterbeck. 26th, A.J. Muller. 27th, Nathan Mills. It did not start in 28th was Dustin Salvage. Reitzel led the whole way 1 through 20. Hard charger was Tasker Phillips. In the 360s, your quick time was the 9 of Chase Randall at 16:6:01. Second, 70 Kellen Landis at a 16:6:32. Third, the 8 of Aaron Reitzel at 16:6:69. Fourth was the 17 of Tyler Grundyke at 16:7:19. Fifth was the 4W Jamie Ball at 16:7:70. Sixth, the 1E of Josh Shigday at a 16:8:41. Seventh was the 24W Garrett Williamson at a 16:8:77. Eighth, the 4 Cam Martin at 16:9:03. Ninth was the 40 Clint Gardner at 16:9:07. 10th was 24 T-Mac Terry McCarl at 16:9:12. 11th, the 9G of Ryan Giles at 16:9:41. 12th, the 22K Caleb Johnson at 16:9:72. 13th was Ryan Levitt as 17:012. 14th was the 53 of Joe Beaver at 17:029. 15th, the 99 Tony Ross at a 17:061. 16th, the 33 of Alan Zoo at a 17:075. 17th was the 6A of Alex Vandervoort at 17:102. 18th, the 7A of Jack Anderson at a 17:270. 19th was the 7B of Ben Brown at 17:287. 20th, the 8H of Jacob Hughes at 17:313. 21st was the 4J of John Carney at a 17:361. 21st was Austin Miller in the 83 at a 17:368. 23rd, the 5M McCollum Oil at a 17:705. 24th, the 4C of Tuesday Calderwood at a 17:882. 25th was the 86 of Timothy Smith at a 17:962. 26th, the 1A of G. Anderson at an 18:592. 27th was the 41D of Dan Henning at a 19:057. 28th, the 14 of Aiden Zoot with no time, and 29th, the 1K of Kobe Watt with no time. He race 1 went to Terry McCarl, 2nd, Garrett Williamson, 3rd, Chase Randall, 4th, Ryan Levitt, 5th, Tyler Gerdike, 6th, Ben Brown, 7th, Austin Miller, 8th, Timothy Smith, 9th, Aiden Zoot, and 10th, Alan Zoot. He raced 2, went to Joe Beaver, 2nd, Alex Vandervoort, 3rd, Cam Martin, 4th, Ryan Giles, 5th, Jamie Ball, 6th, Calvin Landis, 7th, Jacob Pease, 8th, Colin Moyle, 9th, G. Anderson, and credited with 10th and did not start was Kobe Watt. Heat race number 3 went to Caleb Johnson, 2nd, Aaron Reitzel, 3rd, Clint Gardner, 4th, Josh Higday, 5th, Jack Anderson, 6th, Tony Ross, 7th, Sean Carney, 8th, Dan Henning, and 9th, Tuesday, Calderwood. In the feature, went to Aaron Reitzel, was your winner. 2nd, Chase Randall. 3rd, Garrett Williamson. 4th, Terry McCarl. 5th, Clint Gardner. 6th, Jamie Ball. 7th, Caleb Johnson. 8th, Tyler Gerdike. 9th, Cam Martin. 10th, Ryan Giles. 11th, Calvin Landis. 13th, 12th, Joe Beaver. 13th, Ryan Levitt. 14th, Tony Ross. 15th, Ben Brown. 16th, Jack Anderson. 17th, Jacob Hughes. 18th, Colin Moyle. 19th, Timothy Smith. 20th, Austin Miller. 21st, Tuesday, Calderwood. 22nd, Dan Henning. 23rd, Aiden Zoo. 24th, Alex Vandervoort. 25th, Alan Zoo. 26th, Josh Higday. 27th, John Carney. These 2 cars did not start, credited with 28th, G. Anderson, and 29th, Kobe Watt. Grundyke led 1 through 3. Reitzel led 4 through 18. The hard charger was Clint Gardner. In the pro sprints, quick time was the 24 Kate Higday at an 18:4:10. 2nd to 71 in Brandon Wormington at an 18:4:96. 3rd to 99 Matthew Seltzer at a 18:886. 4th to 26 to Chase Johnson at 18:942. 5th, the 29 of J.J. Beaver at a 19:040. 6th was the 3TJ of Joel Thorpe at 19:109. 12th was the 12th, 7th was the 12P of Ryan Nevertall at a 19:214. 8th, the 0 Mike Mayberry at a 19:300. 9th, Jeff Wilkie in the 41 at a 19:330. 10th was the 17 of Matt Allen at a 19:454. 11th was the 14J of Mike Johnson at a 19:480. 12th, the AJ Johnson at a 19:505. 13th, the O2S of Josh Jones at a 19:951. And 14th, the 55 of Toby Mosher. That's Mosier at 20:028. He races. He race 1 went to Kate Higday, 2nd JJ Beaver, 3rd Mike Johnson, 4th Matthew Seltzer, 5th Ryan Nevertall, 6th Josh Jones, 7th Jeff Wilkie. He raced 2 went to Mike Mayberry, 2nd Chase Young, 3rd AJ Johnson, 4th Matt Allen, 5th Joel Thorpe, 6th Brandon Wormington, and 7th Toby Mosier. In the feature, your winner was Matthew Seltzer. 2nd was Chase Young. 3rd, Ryan Nevertall. 4th, Matt Allen. 5th, Kate Higday. 6th, Mike Johnson. 7th, AJ Johnson. 8th, Jeff Wilkie. 9th, Josh Jones. 10th, Joel Thorpe. 11th, Toby Mosier. 12th, Mike Mayberry. 13th, J.J. Beaver. 14th, Brandon Wormington. Your leaders were Navatal 1 through 8, Seltzer 9 through 15. The hard charger was Matt Allen. Over at the Southern Iowa Speedway 2 nights ago. The results. We'll start with the hobby stocks picking up the win. The 10G Justin Griffiths. Second, Aaron Morton in 73. Third, the 7B of Eric Stanton. Fourth, 55 of Brad Stevens. Austin Barnes in the 01 was fifth. Sixth, Kel Hemsley in 88H. Seventh was Tyson Overton in 42T. Eighth, the 14 of Christian Hussman. Ninth, the 1R Rick Van Dusseldorp. 10th was the 72H of Jimmy Kiesling. 11th, the 54 Jesse Williams. 12th, the 6XP of Preston McDonald. 13th, the 424K of Jamie Kent. 14th, James Pilkington in 22. 15th was the 44P of Peyton Stevens. 16th was the 32 Taz of Bobby Green. And 17th was the 7 of Keaton Gordon. In the stock cars, your winner was Nathan Wood. Second, 22R Todd Reisler. Third, 85 Jason McDaniel. Fourth, the 10G Justin Griffiths. Fifth, the B17 of Steve Myers. Sixth, the 96 of Colton Goff. Wade Francis in 7S was seventh. Eighth, the 16 of Jeff Byers. And ninth was the 3 of Travis Bonnell. In the Sword Compacts, your winner was 2H James Herring. Second, the 746 of Garrett Porter. Third, the 7 of Brandon Pickney. Fourth, the 2M of Matt Moore. Fifth, the 0 Bob Hayes. Caleb Hildebrand in 11 was sixth. Seventh was Kyle Resnam in the 18A. And eighth, John Conrad in the 69. Sport Mods, your winner was 30M McGuire DeYoung. Second, the 1B Curtis Vanderwall. Third, the 42 Tyler Eckert. Fourth, Stephen Barry in 55R. And fifth, the 29 of Colton Lizzie. The non-wing sprint cars, your winner was the T4 Tyler Graves. Second, the 11B of Ben Woods. Third, the 12 of Doug Sylvester. Fourth, the 7J of Nathan James. And fifth was the 3T of Tim Folkerts. Now joining the show, Ayrton Janin. How's it going, Ayrton?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Just getting ready for the weekend.
With Knoxville coming up?
Yeah, so this weekend we'll be at Knoxville in our family-owned 3-car, and then Sunday night I'll be driving the Cruel 14 at Huset's.
Okay. You're a third generation. I know your dad raced Knoxville, but I don't know much about your grandpa.
Yeah, so my dad, obviously he raced Knoxville, raced a lot of 360s in the Midwest at Sedalia as well, and then Moberly and a bunch of other places. And they both, my grandpa and my dad, originally started out kind of running midgets, and that's kind of where they cut their teeth and raced, majority of their career was midgets, and then my dad obviously went sprint car racing. But my grandpa started off in the super modifieds at Olympic, and then ran a lot at Burlington, and then with the old swim series and other series around the Midwest. And what's cool is both my dad and my grandpa have a USAC midget win, so that's pretty cool too. But no, my grandpa mainly was a midget guy, and he ran sprint cars towards the end of his career, and then my dad ran a lot of midgets and a lot of sprint cars.
Then I have a question. You mentioned 34. From the driver's point, is it weird going into turn one with a lot of guys dropping wheels off?
No, not really. You don't think about it really. Like it's so, 34 I feel like isn't too crazy with the drop off there. It's pretty technical getting in, because right before you get in, you get really high up on the bank, and then you kind of drop into the corner. when you're up against the lip like that. But no, I don't think it's too bad. I've never really thought about it too much. You're just so used to getting in there really hard and just trying to keep it. Usually 34 when it gets that far around, it usually gets a pretty decent cushion, so you don't ever have to worry about dropping off the edge too much.
And then some of the gamers know you're in the video game. How did that come about?
Yeah, so they were needing a few other drivers for that World of Outlaws game, and the guy at iRacing, his name's Nim Cross, he got a hold of me and just kind of asked me if I'd be interested in it, and we talked a little bit and just kind of worked the deal out, and he got me in there, and yeah, it's pretty cool to be in that World of Outlaws game. It's something, as a kid growing up, I was a little kid whenever, the O2 game was out with the World of Outlaws on the PS2. So definitely be able to be in the video game. I've actually haven't ever played it yet. I've been meaning to, but to be in the game is pretty sweet. It's kind of like, being a childhood, like your childhood, you're kind of like, man, I always want to be in a video game, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. So getting to be in a video game is kind of something that, really, really makes me just kind of excited and happy knowing that it's like that's something you dream of being when you're a little kid and you get to do it.
Yeah, that was cool just to see a local going, I know that car.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool. I get a lot of feedback from a lot of local fans and a lot of people that are fans of mine that whenever they're playing the game, it's always cool seeing them either post about it or send me their results and how they did while they were playing as me.
Talk a little bit about your background, if you can, how you got started.
Yeah, so obviously I'm a third-generation driver. I got started off, my dad, we started off running go-karts, flat karts in Warrensburg, Missouri, and then also in Sedalia, Missouri in the winters. So I ran flat karts for majority of my years when I was younger, then moved into the micro sprints, and then I ran micros until I was probably about 18 full-time, and then we kind of moved into 360s, and then we were lucky enough to kind of land a 410 deal and get to run some 410 stuff the last few years. So done a lot of different kinds of racing. I think I've raced, I ran a midget, sprint car, outlaw kart, micro, flat kart. So I've done a few different kinds of racing, but no, it's pretty cool to think how far I've came when the racing stuff, from being a little kid to, when I was a little kid, I just dreamed of racing a sprint car, and then I got into the micros and I dreamed of winning in a sprint car. And now it's like I've been in a sprint car, I've won in a sprint car, I've won at Knoxville in the 410, and it's I've ran up front with the Outlaws, I've ran up front with the All Stars. So stuff like that, it's like you kind of take for granted a little bit, but as a little kid, you still loves to see how you're doing, and it's pretty cool.
Do you help with the family business at all?
Not so much anymore. I'm kind of more focused on the racing stuff now, but I worked for the family business for a summer, and then I worked there for about 2 or so winters, and then I'll still run errands every now and then if we need stuff dropped off or stuff like that. I'll run some errands here and there to help them out as much as I can. I don't work there no more, but I've worked there probably about a year full time, and then I did a lot of part-time stuff as well.
And they build boat docks, if I'm correct.
Yes. We are, our company is Ozark Barge Dock on the center of the Top Wing, and we build a lot of boat docks, do a lot of conservation jobs for the state as well.
And then to talk about, because I'm not for sure on the Huset's ride a little bit, can you talk about that, how that came about?
Yeah, so our main sponsor, basically kind of more of a partnership deal, kind of faded at the start of this season. It just kind of just didn't work out between us, and I was looking for kind of a solution there. I was going to have to cut back my racing because I don't have a rig right now either. So we're borrowing one of my buddies, Justin Porter's trailer right now, but yeah, we kind of got put in a bad spot where it was going to be really tough for us to go race a lot. We were pretty much kind of just going to be cut back to just running Knoxville and local stuff when we could, as much as we could. And one of my buddies, his name's Kobe, he's actually a family member to the Cruels, and he got a hold of me and he was telling me about, because were supposed to have Kerry Madsen in the car, and I guess some stuff kind of came about there where that wasn't going to end up working out for them and Kerry. So they were kind of on the lookout for somebody as well, and I was kind of in the position where I needed to maybe try to find something to get myself some more races this season. And luckily enough, they needed somebody, and I needed a place to go. So it just kind of worked out for not only them, but also me to kind of get in that car. I'm really looking forward to getting up there because, they got some pretty nice stuff. And, they've been up there for a while, and they've been involved in racing up at Houston for a long time. So, I actually talked to Judd today, and he got the car fired off, so it's kind of cool to get to see the video of the car running. And I'm really excited to do something like that, to get to go drive for another team full time and, get some good laps and get some good experience up at a place that I really like.
And then their big race is in June.
Yeah, so right now we're kind of we're going to just run the weekly stuff for now. We're going to get rolling, and we're just going to kind of evaluate where we're at with how we're running. I'm not really sure how their big race plays into the point stuff up there, so we'll have to get a little more information on that. But I'd like to go up there and run that. I'm sure they would too. So I'm sure we'll be there. It's just a matter of I think it's going to be kind of a game time decision to see how everything's going and stuff like that too. But I definitely think we'll be up there with them, and I feel like we'll get rolling pretty good. They've had a good package there. I know Zoners ran good, and I know Ian ran pretty decent as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting into it, and hopefully we can go up there and run pretty good this weekly stuff. And then when the big race comes around, hopefully we can be up in the show, and then just once you're in the show, and especially a show like that, it's anything can happen.
Talk about your last weekend at Knoxville.
Yeah, so we started off fairly decent in time trials. Not really where we wanted to be all night with how we ran. But I think by the end of the night, we actually got pretty decent in the feature. We were able to move up some spots. Made a bad decision in the heat race, which cost us like a better starting spot for the feature. But, I feel like our package is a lot better than it showed last week. But, like this year, I'm kind of taking on more of the crew chief role and the driver role myself. And then that's another thing, too, us being able to kind of downsize the rig. I was the only one with the CDL, so I was doing it like every ounce of driving. So I think allowing me to kind of be more relaxed before we get to the track and being able to rest on the way there will be a huge benefactor for me as a driver, and able to kind of, maybe do the setup stuff me and my dad are doing together. But I think we'll have a really good product this weekend. I feel like last weekend was just kind of, we had so much stuff going on with how things ended and trying to get our stuff off, like kind of back on its feet. So it was a busy week for sure, but I definitely think I was satisfied with last week. I think we learned some stuff, and I think we'll definitely be a lot better come this week whenever we get rolling, hopefully into Knoxville.
Yeah, and if somebody's listening to this and want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Yeah, so they can always just reach out to my Facebook page, my personal page, or my racing page. Usually my racing page is better to respond to. So, definitely can reach out there. We're obviously looking for a lot of marketing help. Just looking for marketing. We got a lot of marketing opportunities, is what I should say, for anybody that's interested. Got a pretty blank canvas right now, and sometimes this is how it works out. But I definitely think the guys that we do have on board, our sponsors currently are Wet Steps, Kenny's Tile, Ozark Barton Dock, Headman Gravel, Tony Stewart House, Western Flyer Express, Scott Superior Excavating, High Performance Lubricants, Maxim Rider, Midland Performance. Like the guys that I got right now, like they're behind me 100%. And I feel like with those guys like right there, man, you got a good group. I mean, that's half the battle whenever you're racing against guys at Knoxville or anywhere in the country. Everyone's so good and everyone's got such good stuff. You really just got to have a positive mindset when you go to the racetrack. So having them on board, the guys we got, I wouldn't trade them for anything. They got my back 100%. our goal is to go out there and represent them the best we can every single week. So definitely glad to have the guys I have. Wouldn't mind adding a few more to some blank spots, but it is what it is. So hopefully we can get rolling this week, and maybe a good run or two can help that out.
Yeah. How did you get the name Ayrton? Was it through Ayrton Senna or not?
Yeah, my dad really enjoyed watching F1, obviously, and that's how he kind of came up with the name. So, it's kind of funny. I always say I got a really good racing name. My first name's Ayrton, which is the famous Formula One driver from Brazil. Well, then my last name, Jenington. My grandpa did a lot of work in kind of helping. He built midget chassis, ran good at Chili Bowls, almost won the very first one, ran second. He was actually the first person to win a midget feature. He won the first ever prelim 9th Chili Bowl. So I got a really good racing name, I say. With Ayrton Jenington, you got two names that are pretty strong in two different forms of motorsports. So I love my name. It's definitely a lot better than Andrew, which was the first option, and I'm glad that my dad said, let's do Ayrton instead. So, I got a very unique name, too, which is pretty awesome, too. You don't see a lot of Ayrtons out there, and all the ones that do have my name are all involved in racing, so we all got something in common.
And then last year at the Nationals, you were close to making it on the Friday night show.
Yeah, we were pretty close. I think we were a lot better than we were really good at the heat race, and then I think we just kind of missed the setup in the feature, which kind of sucks. So I think we were in really good position to probably try and lock in. I definitely think we would have probably ran in the top 8, no matter what happened there. I feel like if we wouldn't have got wrecked, we probably could have ran 8th or better. Maybe even a little bit better than 8th, I think, as well, once the fuel load kind of got off. So, it was pretty disappointing into our Nationals, really, because it kind of put us in a spot where we had to change cars, and we just didn't get, when you got to change cars at the biggest race of the year, and everyone's there with everything they got, that's the mess. You're kind of scrambling to put a backup car together. Just to go out on Saturday night, too, it's really tough. So we kind of struggled some Saturday in the seat, and we ended up having some issues, so we ended up pulling off. But definitely don't think that showed the speed we had for the Nationals last year. I feel like we definitely had a good opportunity to run up front on Friday night, and I think, even on our qualifying night, we had a really good opportunity. But just the way the track played out and the races played out, we just couldn't do anything really with it. So it was pretty bumming to know you had a really good opportunity and a good car, and just kind of the way situations played out just didn't end up working out in your favor. But that's the way racing goes sometimes, and obviously it sucks, but that's part of it. And, I think this year when we go back, we'll have a really good shot at. Hopefully, I'm pretty confident we can make our prelim A main, and then run. If we have to, we'll run on Friday. I know we'll be in that A main too. So I'm pretty confident in our team and our car, what we have for a package, and obviously everyone's goal is to get in that Saturday night A main, but I definitely think we can get into the B, and if you get into the B, you never know what can happen. So we just got to keep working and grinding. We got to get a little bit better before we can get to that point. It's a few months away still, so but I definitely think we got a good package. And I've rolled around Knoxville pretty well, and we got some decent notes, and I think we can hopefully make something happen this year there.
And then you came back and won a couple weeks later.
Yeah, we were able to get the season championship night win, which was pretty cool. Obviously to win at Knoxville, period, it's pretty awesome, but to go out on the last race of the season and get the win was pretty special, and I think we had kind of an upper hand advantage on everybody there. A lot of those guys were running double features that night, maybe racing for points, so they maybe not wanted to get as aggressive with certain aspects of the car or really try something crazy. They just want to kind of have, 2 solid races to either, try and go up in points or to stay where they're at, not lose the position. So I think we weren't in the makeup feature, so we were able to kind of just Hail Mary for that feature, and it ended up working out in our favor. But we laid down a great lap in qualifying. I think I was the first guy to peel off the top and run bottom there that night, and I was able to get us quick time. And then once you get quick time, you can kind of cruise a little bit in the heat race and not have to worry too much about pushing. We had a pretty decent car, heat and was able to get to third. And then the way the invert worked out, we started third in the feature and was just had a really, really good restart 2 laps. And the way it kind of worked out, it was just they got racing a little bit on entry to 1 and gave me the preferred line, I thought, at the time, and we were able to drive by and just fail.
On the high limit, do you like the choose cone or not?
We actually had bad luck both high limit races and haven't been able to get into the feature there yet. But I ran with Power Eye down at Benton, and they had a choose cone there. The choose cone it's pretty unique. It's a lot different than what I've seen in dirt racing before, but I think it brings a new exciting aspect to the fan side of things and the driver side of things. It makes it a lot more interesting. You got to kind of be strategic. You know what the line is, but it's like if everyone's going there, it's like you take the gamble and maybe move up a row or two and try and make something happen and get a few extra spots, or you play it safe. So you kind of gotta. But then it makes it tough too because you're trying to count where everyone's going. So when it gets to your option, you're ready to go and make your decision. So no, I really liked it. I think it's a great thing that they're doing with it. I don't see it coming into play with the Outlaws or the All-Stars within the next year or two, but I definitely think in the future that could be incorporated into their deal. But definitely I'm a big fan of the double file restarts they do with the Outlaws anyways, and then the choose cone just kind of makes that even more exciting. So definitely a big fan of it. It's an exciting aspect for everybody, and it makes the driver be able to maybe make up for something he lost a few laps before, or maybe he's just kind of not in a spot where he's passing anybody. Maybe he can try to get a really good run and make something happen there as well.
I have a couple more questions. The first one with the new lights at Knoxville, have you noticed a difference?
Last year when they installed them, you could definitely tell they're a lot brighter. I think from a racing aspect, you don't really notice things like that. Obviously we were off for a week before they installed them all, so it's like it was a little different. I think at first, like I still noticed, like wow, I forget how bright it is here once they turn the lights on for the first weekly show. But you don't really notice it. I think you can see the track a little bit better in the car than you could, which was kind of their goal, and also I think for them as well, it makes the TV a little bit easier for them and better viewership. But you don't notice things like that. Like the only time you really kind of notice lights is when you're at a place where it's kind of dark or dully lit up. So, but yeah, no, the lights are awesome there, man. They did a great job with those lights, and I think it's pretty awesome for Knoxville to have something like that because they're what I consider one of the greatest dirt tracks in the country, and they just keep making upgrades to make it better and better, which is awesome.
And the sponsors you have, do you think the streaming service helps with that when they can't be in person?
Yeah, the streaming service plays a huge role into the sponsorship thing, because a lot of my sponsors, they maybe can't make every race. So when they are able to, like one of my sponsors, if they're at the lake or something, they can turn on the TV and they can hang out with their buddies and watch the races, and they're part of it. They're part of my team, so they get to be a part of it even if they're not there. Which is pretty awesome. And then like everyone else I got to, that gets to watch from home if they can't make it, or if we're out on the road. Like last year we were in Pennsylvania, and they were able to tune in and watch. Like that's huge for them, knowing that they got a car out there that's competing with the best in the country, and they get to be part of it. So. They're a huge part of my team. Every single person involved is a huge part of my team. It's a huge help, and it's pretty awesome that they get to be, they get to tune in and watch no matter where I'm at in the country. They get to be a part of it as well. So I definitely think the TV thing brings a lot of viewership in for, maybe someone who can't come, or maybe people that are trying to get into it but just don't want to go to the racetrack right away. So it's definitely a good deal. It helps a lot of the teams with their sponsorship stuff, and it's another thing we can incorporate into, approaching new companies about sponsorship too. So it's pretty cool that we get to do that now. I know the Outlaws have had it for a while, but a lot of the local tracks are starting to get it, starting to get on that stuff too. So it's pretty sweet that everyone's kind of getting on that same page.
Yeah, we appreciate your time. And thanks for joining us. I'll talk to you more in a minute.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on.
Upcoming action starting tonight over at CJ Speedway. Your normal 5 classes of hobby stock, sport mods, stock car, sport compacts, and modifieds. Tomorrow night at 34 Raceway, well, the classes will be the 305 Sprints, modified, sport mod, mini haulers, sport compacts, and late models. Over at the Knoxville Raceway will be night number 2 with Pro Sprints, 360 and 410s. Tuesday night over at the Marshalltown Speedway is Flow Night in America with the late models. Also, modifieds on the card and stock cars. Also, Tuesday night is the High Limit Sprint cars are back in action in Ohio. Wednesday night at the Southern Iowa Speedway, your normal classes of non-wing sprints, sport compacts, stock cars, sport mods, and hobby stocks. There's a little boy laying in Iowa City, Iowa, in the hospital right now. That's a big race fan. His name's Dakota Witchlatch. If you've seen on Facebook and Twitter where some of the drivers and organizations have said their thoughts and prayers, well, please send yours, and hopefully, Dakota, when you get through this, we'll see you again at the racetrack. We'd like to thank Ayrton Jensen for coming on. This has been another edition of the Dirt Racing Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Dirt Racing Podcast with Marshall Hain. Follow us on Twitter at Dirt_Podcast or on Facebook at the Dirt Racing Podcast.